non-constitutional bodies. It's being considered as non-constitutional because it's not being mentioned in the Constitution of India under any of its part, under any of its schedules, or under any of the articles. Got it? Simply, they being established by the Parliament as the statutory body. Okay, so there's a difference between the constitutional bodies and the statutory body. Constitutional bodies are those which has been mentioned in the Constitution of India. But those institutions, those bodies which has not been mentioned in the Constitution of India and has been established by the order of the Parliament or the executive, so they to be called as the statutory body. And in that there are many constitutional bodies which are very, very important, and there are some of the non-constitutional bodies which are even more important than the constitutional bodies. Got it? For example, if we look over that, the National Women Commission. So National Women Commission is also a non-constitutional body, and it represents half of the society, and at present it's very, very important because it's working for the women empowerment at its large extent. So in this context, if you look over there, this is the important body. If we look into the NITI Aayog, have you heard about NITI Aayog? So NITI Aayog is also one of the most important non-constitutional body, because if you look over, it's being called as the think tank of India, NITI Aayog. And what plan NITI Aayog makes, it becomes the objective or the agenda for the rest of the constitutional bodies also. Okay, so constitutional body basically functions on the very plan made by the NITI Aayog. So NITI Aayog happens to be important or not? It's more important than other bodies. Examples just like Finance Commission of India is there, or other Election Commission of India is there. They are the constitutional body, but they functions on the very target set by the NITI Aayog. And NITI Aayog being non-constitutional body, but more important than the constitutional bodies. And if you look again, like the National Human Rights Commission. So who are more important? Being a human is more important, or being from a certain class or religion is more important? Being a human is more important. So National Human Rights Commission happens to be an institution like an umbrella institution under which all other National Commission for Scheduled Caste, National Commission for Backward Classes, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, they all exist. But they happens to be the constitutional body, not the National Commission for Human Rights, not National Human Rights Commission. So in that reference, let's first start with the NITI Aayog, and then followed by the National Human Rights Commission and the Central Vigilance Commission, the most important to be in this list. Okay, so let's see about the NITI Aayog. NITI Aayog. Actually, this NITI Aayog, if you look over, it's the second version of the Planning Commission. Okay, earlier it had been known as Planning Commission. Planning Commission of India. It was, and it got established in 1951. Since then, it makes plan for 5 years, and on that plan, the legislature and the executive performs their functions. Okay, see, makes plan. The main agenda was to make plan. To make plan for 5 years, and on that plan the legislature plus executive performs on the plans made by the NITI Aayog or the Planning Commission. Got it? But what being found that what plan has been made by the Planning Commission that did not achieve the goal. Okay, legislative and the executive never ever achieved the goal set by the Planning Commission. But then what was the very basic reason behind that? The basic reason was that the basis on which the Planning Commission used to make plan, that was not up to the mark. For example, suppose a plan for agriculture is to be made, and we know that in India we have three types of crop mainly: Rabi, Kharif and Jaid. जब रबी की फसल होती है, basically they are the winter crops, and in winter the farmers has to cultivate their crops even being in 4 degree 5 degree temperature. Okay, so what difficulty first hand they face, that to be faced by whom? The farmers. So they will have the very first hand experience. Or in summer seasons they have to work in the field for at least 40 to 45 degree temperature in that also. So who had the very first hand experience? The farmers or the workers at the grassroots level? But these peoples, they were making plan sitting in the central hall with 16 to 18 degree temperature, and they believe that why the farmers are not performing, why not they are doing well and all that. Just they are making plan on the paper, which was really not possible to get implemented into actuality. Got the point? So that was the very reason gap that legislative and executive always fails to achieve the set target of the Planning Commission, target set by the Planning Commission. Got it? तो इस वजह से ये थोड़ा थोड़ा irrelevant होता चला जा रहा था। दूसरी तरफ हम देखें IR की तरफ, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस की तरफ अगर हम देखें, तो इंडिया में एक लंबे समय के बाद, आफ्टर ऑलमोस्ट 10 years, the government got changed and the UPA government was replaced by the NDA government in 2014. and तब तक जो LPG एरा का इम्पैक्ट था वो अपने टॉप पे था, लिबरलाइजेशन, प्राइवेटाइजेशन, ग्लोबलाइजेशन का। ग्लोबल मार्केट का अपना एक अलग था। इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिक्स में यूनाइटेड नेशन का रोल एक अपना अलग जा रहा था रोल। सो इन बिटवीन this United Nation pointed out a sustainable development goal to get achieved by all its members, almost 180 members nations. Okay, and in that United Nations pointed out with 17 goals to be called as sustainable development goals, and all those goals were very close to the Gandhian philosophy. And what was the Gandhian philosophy? Development from bottom to top. And he said that if the last man in the line, if achieves the services, receives the services in the same manner and gets developed, that is called the development. So development must have to start from the bottom to top. So in that context, what 17 goal given by United Nations for all its nation members was basically in context to the development at the grassroots level, basically the development of Human Development Index. It was very close to that. Okay, Gandhian philosophy के according. And we know that in United Nations Security Council there exist only 5 members since its establishment 1945. Now there is a change, there must be change in the composition to have more members to be included, because world scenario change हो चुका है, पावर का सेंटर चेंज हो चुका है। पहले तो 2 पोल थ्योरी था, अब तो मल्टीपल पावर सेंटर्स हो चुके हैं, है ना, सब कुछ चेंज हो चुका है। सो सम new members must be the part and parcel of Security Council. In that context, the United Nations has announced that from every continent there shall be one nation to represent the United Nations Security Council as a permanent one, as permanent member. And when it will come, it to be decided by the United Nations. And in between, when United Nations has provided with 17 goals to achieve, it means all will rush to achieve the goal, to be in the good list of United Nations, to be the part and parcel of the Security Council. Got it? So इस पर्सपेक्टिव में जब देखा गया और देखा जाता है तो from all continent one nation. If you look over North America as a continent, two prominent nations are there, one America and other Canada. America already being the part of the Security Council. So there is any competition for Canada? Is there any competition for Canada to be the member of the United Nations from North America? No competition. No competition is there. So definitely Canada will be the part and parcel of the Security Council. When it goes to South America, there no country is near to Brazil in context to development. Got it? So definitely Brazil will be the part and parcel of Security Council in South America. In Europe, many of the prominent nations already being the part and parcel of the Security Council. Okay, so there also that is the solution is there. In African continent, is there any competition for South Africa with any of the country? Will Kenya or other Somalia, Eritrea will be in competition? No. So South Africa, their seat is almost confirmed. In Australia continent, two prominent nations are there, Australia and New Zealand, rest are the islands. Okay, so in such situation, if you look over there, there is no competition for Australia. Okay, so definitely there is a competition for India in the Asian continent, because Russia, China is there, with whom India faces the major competition with Japan, because China already member of the permanent member of Security Council. Russia already. Japan is the actual challenge for us, and we happens to be even though Japan is small in size, but in terms of inclusive development, Japan is far ahead of India. Only what good thing with India is that India is the youngest nation in the world whose 60% of the population is between 14 to 32 years of age. On that ground, we can say that India can be the world leader of future. Because if you look over Japan, 70% of the population is the elderly population. At any moment of time, it can collapse. Got it? So, for the time being, it may be a developed nation. It may be more stronger than India in all terms. But in the coming years or the years to come, Japan will be far behind than India in terms of that. So we have to focus on us in terms of development of human beings, because they are the resource for India. We do have human resource, as we are the populated nation in the world's most populated nation, and this population to be used as a resource, this human as a human resource. So what type of human resource we want? A developed, equipped, skilled, or just a burden kind of thing? Uneducated, poor, or burden kind of thing? We want a very developed HDI. So that was getting matched with the goal which United Nations has given to us. Got it? So in that term, the government thought that planning commission will not be sufficient to meet the goal of the sustainable development goal. Okay. Secondly, one more thing was there, that since sustainable development goal, it was based on the Gandhian philosophy, and 2019 to be celebrated as the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. 2019. Got it? So 5 years, 2014 to 2015, that 5 years to be celebrated in the name of Mahatma Gandhi. That is on the philosophy of Gandhian principles. The development has to do. And the foremost principle, the basis on which Mahatma Gandhi was focusing upon, that sanitation, है ना, खास करके स्वच्छता अभियान को लेकर के, स्वच्छ को लेकर के, क्योंकि उनका स्टेटमेंट था कि स्वच्छ वातावरण में स्वच्छ शरीर रहता है और स्वस्थ शरीर में ही स्वस्थ मस्तिष्क रहता है, और जब मस्तिष्क स्वस्थ होगा तो सब कुछ डेवलपमेंट अच्छा हो, और वो भी ग्रास रूट लेवल से. So for this sake, if you look over, then the NDA government started with what? The cleanliness program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. It's very first one to celebrate the 5 years for the Gandhi, ठीक है, 150th anniversary. और फिर टारगेट जब ये मिला सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल का गांधीयन प्रिंसिपल्स के अकॉर्डिंग, then the very first step taken by the government was to convert the planning commission into NITI Aayog. And this conversion not in terms of changing the name only or making the Hindi translation of planning commission, planning matlab NITI, commission matlab Aayog. No, it's not like that. Okay, it means that national institution for transforming India. For transforming India. Which India? And transforming to what position? Okay, that is transforming India into New India. New India. And this New India to be looked like what? The developed India. Developed India. Developed India. From developing India to developed India. And developing India. At present, it's developing India. And the conversion of developing India into developed India to be by what means? By means of inclusive growth. By means of inclusive growth. What do you mean by inclusive growth? What do you mean by inclusive growth? Yes, it means inclusive means overall development, overall growth. Whether they are in terms of primary sector or secondary sector or tertiary sector. Tertiary sector. Primary sector means that is farming and other the production areas. Secondary sector means industrialization. And tertiary sector means the service sector. Okay. In all terms, that is whether science and technology, space technology, military technology, medical technology, information technology, or infrastructure growth, economic growth, production, industrialization, service sector, as well as the human development index, education, health sector, education sector, investment sector, insurance sector. Getting my sense or not? So in all perspective, the development has to be there. And for that development, a very enriched think tank has to be there. The think tank which does have a commands on its plan and must assist in the implementation of those plans also. Okay, that's why we need to change planning commission into NITI Aayog, so that overall goals of the sustainable development can be achieved. Correct? तब हम देखते हैं कि और ये इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ हमें मिल सकता है किससे? The sustainable development goals, that is the 17 goals. जैसे हम इसको अचीव करेंगे हमारा ये पर्पस भी सॉल्व हो जाएगा. दे हैपेंस टू बी बोथ कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री टू ईच अदर, है ना. यानी टारगेट एक हो गया और अचीवमेंट मल्टीपल अचीवमेंट्स. टुमारोज इंडिया, डेवलप्ड इंडिया, है ना. इट हैज टू बी देयर. See, the government took decision that with an immediate effect, the planning commission to be changed to NITI Aayog. And this happened on 1st January 2015. That planning commission was made the NITI Aayog. In between the planning commission itself, okay, in between the planning commission itself, the planning commission duration of 2012 to 2017 was going on. This one, that 1st April 2012 to 31st March 2017 was the duration of the planning commission. In between the term, it being converted into NITI Aayog on 1st January 2015, and said that NITI Aayog will work on the same line till the date 31st March 2017, okay, on the target set by the planning commission. NITI Aayog came up with its own relevance, independent relevance, since 1st April 2017 onwards. कब से नीति आयोग स्वतंत्र रूप से अपने अधिकार के अनुसार काम करना शुरू कर दिया? 1st April 2017 onwards, and started with 15 years of vision in place of 5 years as was played by the planning commission. Planning commission कितने years के लिए? 5 years. Then this came up with what? The 15 years vision. 7 years of strategy. 7 years of strategy. And 3 years of action agenda. Got it?